right? You're a consultant, right? Understand this. Write this down, please. You have the gift. Nobody's doing you any favors by taking a look at your product or taking a look at your opportunity. They're only doing themselves a favor. You have the gift.
There you go. You heard it. You have the gift. So let's talk about that, shall we? What gift am I talking about? You have the gift of sharing with others. What I love about this beautiful industry, if you're new or if you're a seasoned veteran, one of the most beautiful things is that when you truly understand what network marketing can do for another human being, that is the day that nothing ever is the same again. For me, I had that awakening moment the first time I saw it. I will never, ever forget the day somebody invited me to a presentation. That's how powerful these events can be. It was in 1995 of November, back end of 95. I was invited to a presentation. We drove 2 hours, more than 2 hours, to get to the venue on a Sunday morning. It was a 4-hour presentation. At the end of the 4-hour presentation, there was another, I think we waited 3 or 4 hours just to get interviewed by the leader to accept my application into their team. There were different days. There was no internet. There was, we used to use fax machines back then still, right? That stuff was still going. Mobile phones were new. You could only SMS. There was no smartphones. So, you know, no WhatsApp or any groups or anything like that. It was all very, very manual. We had emails and we had SMSs, which had to be sent out one at a time. No bulk SMS deals or anything like that. But back then, what I saw was the ability to, number one, connect with awesome people. Like that alone is priceless. But not just connect with awesome people. There's a lot of amazing communities out there that you can join. Meetup.com, etc., Facebook. All of these applications allow us to plug into communities where we have something in common. Whether that something in common is a hobby or educational or, you know, whatever it might be, a lifestyle, a travel, a group, whatever different kind of groups and communities exist, they already exist. Network marketing is a community first. But here's the difference about network marketing. It's not just a community that makes you feel good because you've got something in common. It's a community that encourages us to dream bigger, be bolder, and move forward together. What a beautiful dynamic. It's a real-time coaching and mentoring included in the journey to the extent of the growth of your upline. But every single upline in network marketing has got your best interest at heart. If they understand the concept, they've got your best interest at heart. They want you to win, sometimes more than you want yourself to win. There's a big question mark for yourself. Does your upline want you to win more than you want to win? Most people never answer that question for themselves. But if your upline's calling you to get you to Zoom, there's a problem. You should be calling your upline to find out where the link is, to confirm what time it is, and let them know you're coming. Can you see the difference? If your upline is chasing you around to help you to invite people, big problem. Shouldn't it be the other way around? So if you get this and you're motivated and inspired, you should be calling your upline saying, listen, I've got 5 people ready to jump on a Zoom with you. When can you give me half an hour of your time? I've got 15 people. They've seen the presentation. I want to get them on a Zoom with you to have a quick Q&A. Can you see the difference? As network marketers, the difference between a network marketer and a professional network marketer is very, very subtle. The things I'm talking about now are the subtle differences. Is your upline chasing you or are you chasing your upline? Is your dream bigger than your excuses, or do your excuses win the day? So subtle. Everyone has excuses. It's just whether your ones win or you win over them. Everyone's dreams shrink when life kicks you in the belly. But do you take another deep breath and dream bigger, or do you stay folded over on the floor, winded and wounded? These are the subtle differences. Every single networker is going to take blows. But do you stand back up when you've had yours, or do you stay on the floor? That's all it is. So what I'm talking about here is, for me, the subtle difference between the people that are just going to make it no matter what, and the people that need a ton of luck on their side to get anywhere at all. Like heavily dependent on luck, the luck of the draw, the luck of the day, depending on how they're feeling today, that determines the actions they take and the results they produce. If you are driven by how you feel in the day, very rarely will you succeed unless you're creating those feelings yourself consciously. Most people are not creating their feelings themselves consciously. Most people are at the brunt end of events in their life that determine their feelings and emotions. Very few people on the planet master their emotions. Very few people on the planet even understand the concept of interrupting your thought patterns, interrupting your habits, interrupting your destructive behaviors, interrupting your failure points. Most people haven't got a clue how to interrupt this stuff. Most people just blurt out the failures, the weak points, the tripwires. Oh, this happened, that happened, so-and-so came round, this was on telly. Just really beautiful, elaborate, well-versed excuses. Not to take away from what happens. Stuff happens anyway. But I can promise you, I have turned up at presentations on days that I've lost loved ones. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm saying that was my commitment to doing whatever I had to do to be the best I could be, so that I could serve more people than anyone else in this beautiful industry. And I've committed to that for the last 28 years. The day I walked into a network marketing seminar till now, I've never, ever given up on this industry. And I've had every single thing happen to me, and some, that anyone on this Zoom or anyone watching this Zoom, anyone on the planet will have been through. I've been through it all, and some. If you get through all the things that I got through, then we deserve to have a good chat one day. Because you have to survive a lot of stuff to get to the point where nothing can stop you. Most people get stopped with the small excuses. If you're ever going to get stopped, let the excuse be something like death. Right? Like, that's me, right? Like, I'm like, this is it. I'm going to teach as many people as I can, empower as many people as I can, train as many people as I can with every last breath in my body, to understand that every single person has the ability to create miracles for themselves and their loved ones. And so far, network marketing is the industry that does it for me the most, because of the dynamics, the beautiful setup that it is. Get in for next to nothing, give it some sweat equity, some time, knowledge, retraining, make those little adjustments and create miracles. I've seen it way too often. And then people say, yeah, but there's also the other side of it, Kalps. Yeah, there is. But you know what? I'm not interested in the other side of it. The other side of it exists everywhere. There are people that join the gym and never go. So what? That's not the gym's fault, is it? There are people that get jobs and never get promoted. That's not the company's fault. The company has tons of promotions available. Every time somebody dies up the top, there's a promotion available. It's whether you go for it or not. Every time somebody gets sacked at the top, there's a promotion available. It's whether you go for it or not. Most people don't go for anything. Most people sit at the same desk doing the same thing for far too long, and all the promotions pass them by. So it doesn't matter. It's not unique to network marketing. Everything people talk about as negative in network marketing is not negative in network marketing. It's negative in every single thing on the planet. Every single thing on the planet. You can invest $500,000 in a business and it will fail in 2 to 3 years. So what? The reason people don't talk about that, because nobody's got $500,000 to invest. in a business and fail. That's why you never hear about it. But if you hang around business people that have invested 500,000 in businesses that have failed, it's everywhere. 9 out of 10 business people that invested 500,000 or more in a business and failed will have that story to share. It's everywhere. The 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule, whatever you want to call it. The vast majority of attempts at progress are failure. Then, now what? Get over it. They're just the odds. The odds of a relationship working are against you. The odds of your health working are against you. Illness is imminent. Illness is inevitable. Unless what? You interrupt. Unless you interrupt, rethink, re-strategize, and react, right? Redesign it. It's inevitable. The odds are always against for the human being to get to that top 5 or 10%. Progress is not. Everyone can progress. So here's what I say. It's not about being the top 5 or 10%. But if you can move from the bottom 50% to the top 50%, isn't that worth doing? Surely, I mean, for me, that's such a no-brainer conversation. Let's move our relationships from the bottom 50% to the top 50%. Doesn't take much then it's subtle again. Then the subtle movements work wonders. Let's move the odds of wellness and health and energy from the bottom 50% to the top 50%. Not too much to do. Some disciplines, some adjustments, but make it. Switch the odds. And network marketing is no different to anything else. Traditional business, whatever it might be. Move yourself from the bottom 50% to the top 50%, and that alone adds value, equals progress, moves you forward, gets you closer to whatever it is that you want to get closer to. So be clear what that is. Like, what is it? What is it for you? So here's a great place to start. Are you ready? I hope you guys are making notes. I know it's standard practice for nuts and bolts, but sometimes people do forget. Here's how you measure progress. Capture where you are now first. Get real. Do a reality check. A nice, easy tool that I've found over the years that works for me is something called the circle of life. Or the wheel of life, I should say. It's called the wheel of life. So we can all do this. Draw a circle. And then draw a vertical line through it. And then a horizontal line through it. So you've got 4 quarters. And then chop those quarters into half as well. You've got now 8 slices, like a pizza. So 2 diagonal lines. So a horizontal, a vertical, and then 2 diagonal lines. Now you've got yourself a pizza-shaped circle. I hope you didn't do the circle really small, because it's going to get really difficult to do what I'm going to do next. So you might want to draw the circle again. Make it like take up half the page, right? Like do a nice big circle. And then what you want to do on the 12 o'clock line, that's the vertical line directly, from the top of the circle to the middle of the circle. On that radius, put a dot in the middle and number that 5. The top is 10 and the bottom, the center of the circle, if you like, is 0. So you've got 0, 5, 10. Got it? You should all have a perfect circle with 8 slices and a 0, 5, 10 on the 12 o'clock hand. That 0, 5, 10 concept is actually on all of the hands, all right? Right the way around, the whole circle. And what it does, it allows you to measure your self-perceived level of success, but with some reality. A lot of people are so into positive thinking, they forget to bring reality into the conversation. So what is your real life experience versus your mental perception of? All right. So get real. And then label each slice of the pizza starting with the first slice from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Let's call that health and wellness. That's the first slice, health and wellness. And then the second slice from 1 to 2 can be finances. Third one can be relationships, could be intimate relationships. Third one can be intimate relationships. Your parents, your siblings, your children, your husbands and wives, your partners, right? Intimate relationships. The next slice can be your general relationships, work colleagues, friends, neighbors, acquaintances, your relationship to people in your life. Look at that. Come on now. That's magic. Thank you, Sue. It's not in the order that I was saying, but nonetheless, there's some orders there. You can grab that screenshot if you like. There you go. So you've got all the important areas of your life. All right. And if any of those don't relate to you, you can just scribble it out and put something else that does. So you can replace with what's relevant to you, most important to you, valuable to you. So it's personal. All right. Just go ahead and do that. And then I want you to shade in from 0 to 5 to 10. All right. And then imagine there's some numbers in between. Shade in the part of the pizza that you feel you've conquered already. So for example, spiritual fulfillment, you might do very little in that area, in which case you might just color in a couple of those lines. Or you're meditating every day, you are self-actualizing, you're aware, you're reading, you're filling yourself with knowledge and awareness, and you're well on your journey. You might be a 5 or a 6 or a 7. All right. So whatever you see you are, not what you think you are, take a look, check your life. Some of us paint a worse picture in our head than is real, and some of us paint a better picture in our head than is real for different areas of our life. I don't want you to do either of those. I just want you to paint a real picture using this circle of life for yourself, and color in each slice of the pizza based on your honest experience of where your life is at in each of those sectors. Cool? Thank you, sir. All right, good. Now, if you look at that, what you should have for most people is a very higgledy-piggledy wheel. Can you imagine if you stuck that on your car or your bike? It'll be a pretty bumpy ride, right? Imagine the wheels on your car or your bike were like that. If you see the different shades, some are less, some are more, some are really a lot, some are non-existent, whatever they are. That is a really higgledy-piggledy, bumpy looking wheel. The name of the game is to start getting some balance in that wheel. Get it closer to a circle. Somebody with 5s all the way around is going to have a much smoother experience of life than somebody with 10s and 0s, 10s and 0s, 10s and 0s. Can you see? The beautiful thing is, if you are 10s and 0s, 10s and 0s, 10s and 0s, then you have proven to yourself that you have the ability to master stuff. So there's mastery already there in your DNA. So with awareness, it shouldn't take you too long to bring your 0s up to high numbers. Apply the same principles that you've already applied in other areas of your life into the areas where it's missing. The DNA is already there. The blueprint has already been proven. So bring your 0s up to balance, all right? There's a higgledy-piggledy wheel. Boom, boom, boom. And here, can you see if you did a little bit more work on helping others, you did a little bit more, a tiny little bit more of learning, a touch more on the relationships, add a little bit of fun, and boom, you've got a much more balanced life. Can you see that? Thank you, Sue. Great. Look at that. Isn't it good when you've got visual background assistance? I'm in. Teamwork makes the dream work. Good. So this is your wheel of life. I would stick that up on a wall somewhere so you can see every day. And then, once a week, just have a look and see if you've experienced any improvements. Now, this is an ongoing. It's not 1 week you've cracked the wheel, you crack the code, everything's perfect for a week, and then the following week it all collapses again. Remember this, you will always go back to your comfort zone as a default. It's human nature. So initially, when you start making those big moves, you're like an elastic band. You will instantly snap back to your comfort zone when you stretch yourself. You stretch, you grow, snap, bang. Something will happen, it'll go back to where it was. But as they say, it'll never go back to where it was. It will always be a little bit further than it was. So that's where the incremental progress is made. You make huge progress so that when the rebound happens or the relapse happens, there's still some progress left over. And then you make huge progress on the sum and it comes back and the sum is more than it was before. And if you keep doing that over and over again, push it to the 10, drop back to 5, push it to the 10, drop back to 6, push it to the 10, drop back to 7, push it to the 10, drop back to 8. Do you see what I'm saying? Then over time, you'll find your sweet spots, your balance. Nobody's going to be a 10 all the time. You'll just burn out and die anyway. The name of the game is not to get a 10 everywhere all the time. The name of the game is to get above a 7 for everything. And then when you need to be a 10 in any sector, you know you can be that in that moment because you've got the access. It's not about trying to keep all of this wheel spinning every minute of every day. That's not possible. It's not how life works. It works in your focusing on your work or your career from 9 till 5, if they are your hours, not from 5 p.m. till 9 a.m. You see? So from 9 to 5, you're trying to get to 10 during those hours for your career. Then when you're at home with your family time, you're trying to push for the relationships to get to a 10 in those times. When you're in the gym or doing your walk, your steps, or whatever it is you're up to, you push for a 10 when you're doing that. That's called being present. So all round, if you're humming at 7s and 8s, you've got the best life on the planet as a human being. You're a well-rounded, progressive, top 5%er. And then whenever you want to step it up, you step it up in that moment. So being present, focusing on one thing until successful. Remember we covered that last week? Focus. Focus was, what was the acronym? Following one course until successful. FOCUS. So Wheel of Life. The Wheel of Life also will help you. First, it helps you get clear of where you're at, shows you the gap, and then shows you what's possible as well, right? There's not a human being on the planet that has a 10 on everything all the time. There's no such thing. That's where we beat ourselves up because we think that's how it's supposed to be. It's not how it's supposed to be. How it's supposed to be is being a 10 in any area that you're focusing on at that point in time, as often as possible. And knowing that you're in an elastic band, so you can't hold yourself at a 10 permanently. It's like a sprint. You get in the zone. You know, if you're doing, if you're in the gym for half an hour, it's doing the 10 for half an hour. You try and do a 10 for 12 hours, you're dead, finished. You'll be in hospital. Not possible. Unless that's all you do with your life. If you're the kind of person who lives in the gym, if you're an Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe you can do 10 hours in the gym, full tilt, 10 hours, 7 days a week for 5 years. Maybe you can do that. I don't know. I haven't seen his schedule. I'm guessing his schedule isn't even like that, but you know, you get my point. It's being able to go full tilt at something when you need to, and then let the elastic band get back to where it is, and it's always going to be better than it was. So be present. Focus on what you need to focus on in that moment in time to get the most from it. So get clarity, right? Tony Robbins says clarity is power. Most people haven't got clarity in their life. What's important to you? What are you focusing on? What are you committed to? What is uncompromisable for you? Nothing gets in the way. You're just an absolute commitment to whatever that is. And then the hardest thing of all of this, don't judge yourself. It's not about judging yourself. It's about scoring yourself and then improving the score. We're already fantastic, self-destruct masters. It won't take you long to judge yourself for not being a 10 in all of the areas of life all of the time. So I keep stressing that, right? That's not the purpose here. The purpose is to improve your game from wherever you are to where you could be next. The next step, the next improvement, the next growth. Focus on that. Focus on progress. Don't focus on perfection. Focus on progress. Any progress is better than no progress. Just remember that. Remind yourself, any progress is better than no progress. So I'm done with today's nuts and bolts. I'm going to jump in the room. I'm going to give our participants a chance to share any openings, breakthroughs, takeaways, aha moments, any gifts that you're going to grab from today. What are you going to do? What are you going to be responsible for? What changes are you going to make? What transformation are you going to create? If you want to share, stick your hand up and let's hear from you. Dr. Vinod, always a pleasure. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Kalpesh. Sorry, I was a little bit late. I didn't realize there was nuts and bolts today, but I got gist of it. You are very right. People invest $500,000, and I did the same thing in 1981. I bought 2 franchise restaurants in California, like McDonald's, and within 2 years, I made zero. So, I'm crying every day when I think of what I did there. But then I came back to network marketing, and in this business, since last 8-9 months, maybe I've invested probably 4, 5, 10,000, and I'm making 2,000 a month. So is the network marketing, you're 100% right, is one of the best things one can do in life. But unfortunately, we just go into network marketing by luck. We don't go to uni to learn network marketing. We go to learn medicine, to dentistry, to accountancy, but no one takes you to do uni to say, okay, I'm going to do network marketing. So I'm very grateful to you and Sue for inviting me to Dubai and getting me into this business, and I love it. I always loved network marketing, and thank you very much.
Beautiful. Wow. Dr. Vinod, thank you. You are one of the most inspiring people that I've come across because, as I always say, when I'm 80-something, I want to be just like you. Your energy, your passion, your enthusiasm for learning, for growing, for being flexible and trying, and you know what I mean? It's incredible. Most people are burnt out from trying anything in their 30s, and the key for me is always to keep that fresh and alive, and you do that beautifully.
Thank you very much. I always get inspiration from you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Look at that. Dizzy, how you doing, bro?
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this beautiful place we call Earth. Look, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Vinod because I love it when he puts his hands up, because when you get to 80, you've lived on this planet. And the one thing I've learned from many people is there's always cycles, right? Nothing's brand new. You're always going to see another opportunity. You're always going to have a challenge, and the challenges are the same. So I got on late due to some homework I had to do for later, but I caught the tail end of what you said, and I've known you for so many years. I think you were talking about we're all like elastic bands, and you have to stretch yourself, right? So I've heard this one before. So yeah, bringing it back, it's 100% correct. You really got to stretch yourself, but remember, you will go back to your old self, but just keep improving every single day. Be present to what it is, and you'll move forward. So yeah, thank you, Kalpesh, for always delivering every single week. I want to big up my uncle Suresh Mama, who introduced me to network marketing when I was 16, and he didn't do it on purpose. I went to his son, me and his son are really good mates. And I remember coming to his house and I said, why is everything in your house got Amway written on it? I didn't realize that was network marketing, but he's in the room. We've got to know each other, and I'm really happy that he's here. And that was my first experience of network marketing. So here we are 30 years later.
Legends. I love it. These are guys that got in way before we even knew what it was, right? Just beautiful. Thank you. Sue.
Thank you so much, Kalpesh, for an amazing session this evening. And, talking about the wheel of life, as you know, is one of my favorite subjects, because, we often end up focusing so much on whether it's work, or we spend too much time doing, meditating and, and there's either you're satisfied fully in one area, but you're not satisfied in other areas. And, life really doesn't work when you're not living a balanced life. And, I really love using that wheel of life pretty much every quarter of the year to check with myself, am I satisfied in all these areas? And to be honest, I've actually trained myself to create my day so that it has a bit of everything in it. Whether it's checking in with my mom, whether it's, you always talk about income producing activities and non-income producing activities. What am I doing to create money today? What am I doing around learning today? What am I doing for spirit? So really just making sure that my day is balanced. And I just absolutely love it. It has brought a lot more balance and a lot more satisfaction and fulfillment in my life. And that's why I'm able to do last minute trainings on presentations, because I have a day where everything's ticked off, but I also have space in my day as well. So thank you for bringing that back home today as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. David, hiya.
Hiya. I thought that wheel of life was brilliant, Cal. That was really good. It helped me focus. I need to learn more. Money, well, we all know about money, don't we? Work, it helped me focus. But I wanted to mention something just a little bit off topic, just in case anybody else does the same as what I've done. My sponsor contacted me a week or so back about the XFIT and how to use the XFIT, because I'm terrible at not doing things in the right order and not going through the back office properly. So I've not really looked at the XFIT properly. And he said, he quickly said to me, oh, delete it and then reinstall it. Well, it wouldn't do it, would it? It wouldn't reinstall. And I sent a video of sorting it out and what have you.
Yes.
I'm like a dog at a bone. I've got to get it sorted. So I went and got another phone, an old phone, and tried it, and it worked on the other phone eventually, but I think I used another email that wasn't synced, was separate from the other one that was synced, and it worked. And I thought, well, I need a new phone anyway, so I went and got another phone, and I did it on that email that wasn't synced, and it worked. And I thought, right, I'll go back on the other, and it loaded on back on the other again, and I think it was because it don't work once you've uninstalled the XFIT. If the emails, it goes onto the email and it doesn't work again.
David, if I can ask you to just deal with that with your upline, because this is a generic call for.
No, I'm just saying
particular product. But yeah,
they
I
do
get
the
it.
same thing.
Cool.
What you need to do is just go on another email.
Yeah.
Refresh another email and do it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
brilliant call. Thank you. I just thought I'd mention
Thanks,
that.
buddy. Thank you. Tom, how you doing, buddy?
Great. If I unmute myself.
Hey.
What a great training. I'm one of the things you said, as far as whether you're missing, I think I've missed an anniversary doing a presentation or being out of town. I think I've missed football games, but it's interesting. My kids have grown up great, and I still have a great marriage. And I just always kind of live by the feeling that providing is one of the most important things that I was put on this earth to do. And, I remember talking to a guy about, being on a webinar, and he's like, well, a football game's on at that time. And I'm like, really? And I said, well, I got a policy. I don't watch people on TV that make more money than I do. You know, and so until I do, I'm probably not going to watch a football game if there's a webinar on. So, but you know, when you get into network marketing, it's absolutely the highest ROI business that you can get into. I mean, I look, you know, the one I'm in, you make 2 sales, you're profitable. You know, where you know, invest 500,000 in a restaurant, you got to sell, you know, 4,000 million burgers to make a profit. You know. But you know what, I break it down to, I don't look at ROI as just return on investment as I do return on initiative. So if you ever think of your ROI, you know, think of it as return on initiative. And look at your calendar. And I would challenge you to do 2 things. And that would be, number 1, put in all the stupid activities you do every day in your calendar. And if you don't have enough room for anything else, you're not going to be successful. You know, but start with those success activities that will absolutely change your life, and prioritize it. And I've got a little post-it on my computer, and it says, invest in dreams, invest in education, invest in self-awareness, invest in relationships, invest in tasks that move you forward, invest in health. And those are the things that I'm focused on. I learned that from Stephen Scott, who wrote a book, Mentored by a Millionaire. And he has this great exercise in his book. And he says, you know, write down your dream statement first, and then identify 10 quantifiable goals from that dream statement. Then create 3 tasks that will help you achieve each one of those goals. And kind of like your wheel of life, when you kind of do that self-assessment, you can actually do a self-assessment of your dream to make you realize whether you have what it takes to make it. And if you don't, you realize that's where you got to invest in education. You know, if you have to be able to use an ECRM system and you don't have that knowledge, and that's one of your tasks, well, then you need to get education on running an ECRM system, you know, or whatever, you know. So I don't know. I'll leave with this, and you used one of my favorite quotes.
Where did you go?
You know, in your training, you said, when your excuses are greater than your dreams, you'll live an excuse of a life. But if your dreams are greater than excuses, you'll live a dream of a life. And I've always lived by that. But I'll say this, that until you start asking the right questions, you'll continue to get the wrong answers. And I think we all have to have that self-assessment, that honesty, and to say, am I where I want to be right now? Am I making the kind of money I want to make right now? Do I have the kind of freedom that I desire right now? And if you don't, say it out loud. Say, no, I don't. And let your brain hear that you're dissatisfied with where your brain is getting you to. And maybe your brain will say, well, maybe we need to learn some more. But yeah, I love network marketing. I think I've struggled for 30 years of wishing I had a magic pill that I could give to somebody that gave them my initiative and my drive and my desire to win, and just say, here, just take this. But it's just not that easy. I think that people, you know, they need to dream more. I jokingly tell people, I think the reason I dream so big is my favorite book growing up was a cartoon character named Richie Rich. And I wanted a dog named Dollar, and I wanted a safe full of money that I could sleep in. And I wanted a helicopter with a money blade, you know, a money symbol blade, you know. I just had these big dreams. So I would just say, revisit, you know, what your dreams are, and just know anything's possible. But, you know, everything is impossible if you don't do what the things that make things possible. I mean, you have to go out there and do the things that create success. And unfortunately, I think most people focus on the things that don't create success. And that's just the dichotomy between the success-minded person and the person that wants to either live in poverty or in mediocrity. And I hope people will start asking better questions about their life, and don't ignore the real answers, because when you ignore the real answers, you'll just continue to get the same result. So thanks for your training. Really enjoyed it today.
Brilliant. Thank you for all of that wisdom and sharing that lovely a list that you just shared at the beginning as well. That's beautiful. I'll be listening back to this and making those notes myself. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining Nuts and Bolts once again. This is a weekly training for the world of network marketing to come and eat from, drink from, learn from, and apply the wisdom into their journey so that they can accelerate way past everybody else and get to the top of the network marketing food chain. which is my commitment to as many around the world that are also committed to the same journey as well. Look, not everyone's going to win. We've already established that. But if you are one that wants to, then guess what? This training will always give you the tools and the knowledge and the awareness and the path to get there. So much love always. We shall see you back here, same time, same place, same link next week. In the meantime, bye for now.
Helen.
Being able to answer this question, who am I? And what do I want? You know, many times when I go out of the country, I am baffled by that question. To explain what is your occupation. I've stood there for 10 minutes. Well, am I talk show host? Well, I'm more than a talk show host. Am I a businesswoman? I'm a businesswoman. I'm more than a businesswoman. Am I an entrepreneur? I'm more than an entrepreneur. So I just leave it blank or self-employed. So I'm not asking for the roles that you play as daughters. I'm not asking that question. What are the roles that you play as a daughter, as a friend, as a sister? You're going to be a lawyer, you're going to teach, you're going to be a pharmacist. I'm asking the bigger question of who am I? Who am I really? My answer is I am God's child. I am that which is born of all that is. I am, as Pierre de Chardin said, a spiritual being having a human experience, come trailing the breath of the ancestors yet, but trailing the breath of the angels, and understanding that because I am connected to the source of all that is possible for me. That's who I am. And what do I want? I don't want to just be successful in the world. I don't want to just make a mark or have a legacy. The answer to that question for me is I want to fulfill the highest, truest expression of myself as a human being. I want to fulfill the promise that the Creator dreamed when he dreamed the cells that made up me. What do I want? You must have some kind of vision for your life. Even if you don't know the plan, you have to have a direction in which you choose to go. I never was the kind of woman who liked to get in a car and just go for a ride. I had a boyfriend who would say, let's just go for a ride. I want to know, where are we going? Do we have a destination? Is there a plan? Or are we just riding? What I've learned is that's a great metaphor for life. You want to be in the driver's seat of your own life, because if you're not, life will drive you. Knowing who you really are in this space and time that we embody. That's number one. What do you want? Who are you? Number two, You must find a way to serve. Martin Luther King said that not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great because greatness is determined by service.